Hello and welcome to episode 78 of Creepy Soup. I am Jill from Michigan,
Jenny from Wisconsin.
and this week is Jenny's turn to do an episode. How are you?
Yes. Peachy. That's how you get peachy.
You too, yeah. Um, I I'm good. It's been a week, man. Oh, it's been a week. Um,
Yes.
yeah, I mean that's really all I can say. It, yep.
I think a lot of us can relate to that for this week. I know several people who have had the big struggle.
Yeah, I'm okay. Well, the one day when all the issues was happening, I was in my car and I have um an Echo in my phone in my car, like a Amazon Alexa. I don't want to say it and set anybody's off. Um, but I'm like driving and I'm like, is Mercury in retrograde? Which I knew it was coming, but didn't know exactly. And sure as shit, it is. So Mercury is retrograding.
Mercury's in the microwave.
Now, the other day I was like, Mercury's in lemonade. But
It went from lemonade to the microwave.
yeah, I've heard Gatorade. I've heard all kinds of things it referred to. But yeah, it's definitely a lemonade, and I am ready for it to be over. Uh,
Very
it
much so.
it's I mean, when I don't know, it's just been a week, and I survived it. I got battle scars, but I'm good. And just want to let you know if you hear noise, I have children here, so they've been quiet. They've been super quiet. Like Jenny and I pre-gamed for a little bit, and they've been quiet. So we're like, okay, we got to do this before. Like, I can't force them to be quiet for hours and hours, but maybe this is the way to get it done. So
Yay. Um, and also on that note, because you were just discussing the pre-gaming, um, I'm curious, what would our listeners think if we made a TikTok associated with the Creepy Soup podcast? Please let us know what you think. It will be a great help in deciding what we do.
yeah,
So, I also have a child running back and forth across, so there's good chance of noise at some point in this episode.
yeah, the joys of Saturday recordings, which look is my fault this week. Totally my fault. uh Jenny messaged me the other day and she was like, "Are you up?" And I'm like, "Yep, my alarm just went off." She's like, and it was like 10:30. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. You're gonna hate me, but I've been up since 6:30." We went on and she's like, "Well, you want to record Saturday?" I'm like, thinking, and I told her this. I'm like, what the fuck is she jumping right to Saturday for? We've got tonight and Thursday. No, ma'am, it was Thursday. So then Saturday was our only other option at that point. I thought it was Wednesday.
Originally, we were going to record on Wednesday, but I think we both slept through Wednesday.
Yeah, well, I was awake Wednesday, and I don't know. Look, I don't know. Like I said, my whole week is thrown. I was a day off, but instead of being a day ahead and thinking I'm closer to the weekend, I was a day back and actually closer to the weekend. I don't know. It's a whole thing. But I did bribe my grandkids and tell them if they're quiet, I will take them to Dollar Tree. Well, I'm taking one because I don't do all three. Mm. I am
You,
taking
you
all
picked the right one.
three. Yeah. I am taking all three to um our union does this thing, and I believe I talked about it last year after it happened. It was like snapshots with Santa. Now look, Bentley is 12 and a little old, but afterwards we go and we do fun shit. Like last time we went out to eat. We went and got because they give us like the 4x6 snapshots,
Mm.
and I went and got frames for all the pictures. And yeah, it was we had a really nice time last week or last year. So I'm really hoping for that for next Sunday. So I'm excited for
Nice.
that.
The
And I think,
following Saturday, I have breakfast with Santa with my little guy. I'm just gonna keep my fingers crossed.
yeah,
That's all I'm gonna say.
should be good. You'll be fine. It'll be good.
Fuck.
You want to start over?
No, it's all right. That's the thing I refuse to talk about on here.
Yeah, I just almost chipped my tooth with my cup.
I've nearly done that. Surprisingly, I have not broken my tooth off doing that. Eat a taco and I'll lose a tooth, but smack it with a coffee cup and I'm good.
Well, maybe
Oh,
the coffee cup loosened and the taco was just like,
I know what loosened it because it's my front one.
hmm,
My son's head loosened it.
I can see that for sure.
Yep, and I remember I had a cut lip. It was swollen for like 2 or 3 days. Yeah, that's what broke it. So, yay! Thank God it's not real. Because if it
Yeah,
were, I wouldn't have been able to get it fixed.
I see. I don't think I really have anything else going on. I've well, I can say I've been in my job for a couple weeks now, but I keep getting moved. Um, and I'm still trying to get my routine down because I have three different parts that I have to, and one happens like every 10 minutes, the other one's like every 20, and the other one's like every hour. So if I space it right and get other things set up, I do get some sit down time, which is fucking wonderful. Or now I can just like skip on to the bathroom. And but one, it's cold, so I really haven't been going outside. So I am like right by my desk. I'm like kind of behind a stairway that goes up to one of the loader things. So I'll stand behind there and vape.
You sneak. That's
Uh,
awesome. Love it.
yeah, don't want to get caught doing that because
Right. Yeah. Not I sneak in my office because yeah. Oh, that reminds me, tonight at the casino, we are giving away a car.
ooh,
Yep, so it's
that
gonna
would
be busy tonight,
yeah,
I
oh
hope.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah. Honestly, I hope one of our regulars get it. Like so many people get mad when the regulars get it, but it makes me happy when the regulars get it.
right, because they're the ones that come in and regularly spend their money there. Yeah, oh, I get it,
Exactly.
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
So yeah, and not only that, but the majority of our regulars are exceptionally nice. Um, and like I've worked at the casino for 6 years. Um, and so I know all the regulars very well. I have served them their meals. I have cleaned up after them.
Right.
And I was calling their jackpots. And then coming next month, I'm gonna start paying them their jackpots.
Nice, nice.
So it's kind of a nice little cyclical, connection with them, but
Yeah.
they all already know me.
Hmm.
And not only that, but they have also watched my transformation this year. And it's kind of funny because some of them will joke, like on days where you can tell that I'm very much in my head, because I don't make eye contact with people. I go very fast, and I zone out.
You're just like a
Um,
redheaded blur.
pretty much. Um, like, sir, I can hit nearly a mile in 15 minutes on those days, when ordinarily it takes me like a half an hour to hit just over a mile.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, but they'll do one of these things to try and catch my attention sometimes, or some of them will actually do this, or they'll do the whole like this at me, or they'll do the speeding up and then slowing down when they see me.
You'll have to let us know next week if it was a regular. What kind of car?
Can't remember. It's a 2023. I want to say a Chevy. I'm not 100%.
Okay. I like that.
Um,
I like that.
yeah. It's a truck. I know that. But I don't know like the new models or anything to say
Yeah.
which one it is. It's nice looking. Like, I would happily win it. But I'm not eligible to
I
win.
was just gonna
So
say you're probably not even eligible because you weren't.
nope. Ironically, at the time when I was eligible, when I still worked there, I was always working during
Right.
the event. So it's not like you can be like, oh, they just called my name. Let me go punch out real quick so that I can go claim that. Because
Right.
if you're on the clock, you can't claim it. However, in certain departments, words, um, you can play while you work there. And so you just can't, play while you work.
Okay.
And also, if you are in one of those departments where you can still play, you cannot go on the floor like in your work clothes. So,
Okay. Um, yeah, apparently words are hard for both of us. Before we started, we hit record. See? I couldn't remember the word topic,
so that was
which
the word.
I'm like, think of she's like, Jenny's like, topic. Like, yeah, that's the word.
That's awesome.
Oh,
It sounds like there's a dance party above my head.
no, it almost sounds like there's nobody here because it's very quiet out there. I did just hear somebody walk through the kitchen. Um, but yeah,
Shall we
I
go on with our story then?
yeah, let's go ahead and get going with that.
All right. So I did pull up a picture of the building because I do have visuals today. Yay
Yay.
for that. So I'm gonna preface this by saying it was so hard not to go down the rabbit hole because I wanted to. Um, we're gonna discuss a abandoned, haunted, Oddfellows orphanage. Yeah.
Oh,
Um, this particular location caught my attention because it was on an episode of Destination Fear.
okay. Gorgeous
That's the
building.
location. Yep. Very big, as you can see. There is several outbuildings and things like that. Um, so I'm not going to say the town that this is in, because they didn't say it in the episode, and I can guess as to why they wouldn't give the location. But I'm going to say it's in Pennsylvania, and that's all I'm going to say. Um, this particular location opened in 1897, and it was a brainchild of a few different people. Sorry, trying to get my picture to downsize on me. There we go. This picture is one that they would frequently stamp on postcards and pictures that were taken on the location, which I love the artwork on this.
Yeah,
It's very, very pretty.
very pretty.
Um, so the group was very active in the community. They were looking for a specific location to have as an orphanage. And so a few of the different members kind of got together and were like, okay, we're gonna do this one. And so they kind of pooled all of their money and bought the location. Unfortunately, that was all the money they had. Um, so they actually had to, outsource for furnishing this place because they literally had no furniture. An orphanage from, the other side of the valley had donated a bunch of stuff, had also given them money, things like that. The first couple of years were very rough. Didn't have a whole lot of anything. The building did not have electricity or indoor plumbing, I believe. But they were happy, they were content. They wanted this to be a self-sustaining location, which in order to do that, you got to have certain things available to you. Well, unfortunately, they didn't have a whole lot available to them. However, the railroad was coming to town, and they had the railroad extended to the location. If I'm not mistaken, it even goes past a little ways. I don't remember how much. Um, but the railroad runs through the location. They have their own train depot, uh, or how the fuck you say it? Da, 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 da. Hold on. Let me get there. Let me get there. Let's see. Uh, train station, train depot, whatever you want to call it. Um, this was their means of coming and going. There was not actually a road or driveway to this location. So that means if you were coming to visit the Oddfellows, they knew when you were coming because you only had one way to get there.
Makes sense. Yeah.
You couldn't leave until the train picked you up. Now, this orphanage was originally to house any children that happened to be left behind by deceased members of the Oddfellows. It was very successful. Um, if I'm not mistaken, they did bring in other children, but I'm not 100% on that. However, it's the Oddfellows. So think of it more along the lines of, uh, well, I want to say cult, but not quite cult.
No.
Um, Mix cult with the Florida Boys Home is kind of more like it. So if you don't know what I mean by the Florida Boys Home, you can go back to, I don't remember what episode number it is, but there is a Boys Home episode, which is very gruesome, but a great listen. So the boys in this home were kind of given, I don't want to say more leniency, but more opportunities, we'll say, because the Oddfellows is a patriarchal society, not matriarchal. Therefore, women had no standing, they had no voice. Um, it is believed that there are several um, young women who remain at the location, we'll say. This is not a location. I want to point out this is not a location that is open to the public. Um, in fact, the only reason this was on the episode was because one person from TikTok got access and asked Dakota and his group to come in and help him investigate. And I actually follow that person. He is a very good paranormal investigator, Kalani. And I would say that he is a young mayor in the works.
Okay, okay.
If you don't know who the mayor is, I'm sorry, but for those of you who do, yeah, very much has those skills and capabilities. Um, so once the orphanage was up and going and, finally had the things that they needed, they started planting and farming. They, I forget what all they made, a lot, but the children were primarily schooled at the location. Um, they didn't take, or yeah, sorry, once you hit, I want to say 16, you were removed from the location. But when the, oh, that was, I want to say it's the school board, but like not the school board, if that makes sense, like higher
Yeah,
up than the school board, um, Board of Education or something like that,
for the
came in.
district.
See if I can find it. I know I didn't write it down. I was trying to remember. Um, it was 1922. Um, shit, I can't remember. Anyway, the school system basically came in and said, okay, look, you need to adjust things. This is what we need to do, yada yada. And the Oddfellows were like, okay, but here's our list, of things that we want.
Right.
And apparently,
Sorry, I
yeah,
don't mean to interrupt you, but you brought up the boys' home, the Florida boys'
uh-huh,
home. That was episodes 57 and 58. And
thank
50,
you.
no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. 58 and 59.
Okay. And what was the name of that again?
Uh, what is Dozer?
Dozer Home for Boys. Yep.
Yep. Yep. Those are Dozer with the side of bullshit and Dozer with the side of bullshit part two.
All right. So, yeah, if you're interested, you can go check that out. Um, so this particular location originally did not have power, like I said. Unfortunately, they had some fires. Um, in a couple of instances, lost the entire buildings. I don't remember if there was actually any deaths associated with it. Um, but they ended up rebuilding. They got power. They got indoor plumbing. Oh, all was right in the world of the Oddfellows. They were very happy. So they got electric lines in 1908. They got a dental office to help care for the children's teeth in 1911. Additional wings were created in 1922. So at this point, they're in full swing. Um, the high school aged children are allowed to go to school in town. At this point, they have their very own band, which is exceptional, to the point where they actually go out and do performances and help raise money for the orphanage. Um, they would go to other Oddfellows homes, other gatherings, we'll say. Um, they had a football team. They had their band, and then they had the boys band and the girls band. They had their own special teacher that, dealt with just them. Um, Shoot, there's more to it as far as like what all they had that associated with the town, but they were very prominent within the town. They would have parades, they would throw celebrations, things like that. And then after everything, they would have their own ceremonies, to commemorate. Um, Unfortunately, things kind of come to a head. Mm, Hold on. No, I hate how this went all over the board as far as history. Okay. I'm pretty confident this is like a superimposed picture, but it's what I've got. I'm gonna guess it's superimposed because they didn't have the correct. So here's the band. Sorry, let me move my cup so I can actually get this closer. My bad. There we go.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot.
It is. They, like I said, they had a very, significant band. Um, so yeah. So the band would go around, create or generate revenue for the home. And here we have the female band.
Oh
And
wow.
you also have the, oops, instructor. That was so rude. The instructor is right there in the corner.
Okay.
So he wasn't in the other ones. They had their baseball team, a football team. Unfortunately, they also had a weird ass tree on their property. But we'll get to that in a minute.
I was gonna say I want to see the
Um,
tree.
Unfortunately, I don't have a picture of the tree. I couldn't get a screenshot of it, but creepy as creepy trees go. Imagine
I love
that.
my creepy trees.
So this is one of the events that was held on the property. And if you can see there, that little line down the middle of the road is
Hmm.
like this is on property, mind you. So there's roads going to the outbuildings. That's a shit ton of people and the band. Sorry, I'm trying not to turn it off again. Dang it, I moved it. My bad. Come back. Dang it. It switched pictures on me. That's the problem. Okay. So this is actually the band going through right here. And then you have all the people over here and down on the side in the yard here that are watching as the band go through. I don't know what location this is at. Actually, I don't know if it's this location or another Oddfellows location. It just says Oddfellows Orphanage, which I didn't realize there was several. Um, and we actually have Oddfellows locations here in Wisconsin. I didn't know that. As I said, it was really hard not to go down the rabbit hole. Let's see. The school at the orphanage is nearly identical to the school in town. And my guess is that that was to help with like transition and normalcy. There's the school. Um, And here is students, teachers, and other Oddfellows members.
Okay, it's a lot of people.
It is. So it was very bustling, in its day. So naturally, because they are the Oddfellows, there isn't a whole lot as far as actual goings-ons within the location. As far as, like regular day-to-day activity, you get the synopsis of it. You get the very polished version, but at the same time, when you would go to the location, everybody was, you didn't speak unless you were spoken to. If you
Ooh,
were a female, you didn't speak. Um, at the same time, it was said that they were exceptionally well-mannered, well-behaved children. To me, that screams beaten into them.
mm-hmm.
You step a toe out of line, you're done. Um, they were very prominent within the town, like I said. Because of that, the townspeople don't really talk about it. Um, However, there were numerous times throughout the Oddfellows orphanage history that they would call upon the town for help in regards to things as for whether or not it was food or if it was help rebuilding something that had burned down. At one point, I forget who it was. There was a very prominent figure was on site, and a fire happened to break out. And apparently, it was put out so swift and effectively that it made like front page news of the paper because they had done it so well. And they did that because they had had previous fires where they've lost entire buildings, thousands of dollars. And that time, our time,
Right.
it's like nearly a
Millions.
$100,000.
Right.
Yeah. Um, so if I remember correctly, the original purchase price of the location was like $8,000, which, if I'm not mistaken, equated into 130 something thousand in today's money. So, yeah, easily millions.
Yeah.
They also lost several cattle, horses, hay, you know, things like that. But like I said before, it doesn't actually say whether people got hurt. Like you never actually find anything that says if, anything happened to people
Right.
anywhere. Like if you have this many people on site all the time and you have one way in and out, you're gonna have something going on.
You would think, yeah.
It is reported that there is a unmarked graveyard on the location. Um, However, it has not been confirmed nor denied because the location has not been fully investigated, save, a couple of people, because it is still within their hands. Um, and so that's why I didn't want to give an actual location because I don't want people to be like, oh, I'm gonna go check it out.
Right. Right.
But because it's very much trespassing, they don't want people coming out there. Um, so that leads me to the investigation. Um, as pretty much as soon as they, come in and start discussing the history, things start happening around them, bangs and knocks and things like that. Um, but one of the very interesting things that is noticed like straight away, anytime Chelsea, the only female of the group, asks a question, there is absolutely no response.
She's a woman.
Yep. At one point, she is holding, I believe it's the ovulus. I'm not 100% which one she had, but she was holding the speaker. Nothing came through the entire time she had it. However, as soon as she gave it up, instantly started getting answers.
Wow.
She was understandably pissed
Yeah,
because she's like, "What the fuck?" She's like, "I've been holding on to that thing for how long?" I would have had the same reaction fully.
for sure.
Um,
Because especially now, women. I mean, obviously, women still have their struggles. I'm not saying they don't, but now, I mean, I'm sure there are some women that are raised to speak when spoken to, kind of thing. I was not one of those. So, like people like you and I, and probably many of our listeners would be like, yeah, no, that. But if they're from a certain time period, then it's understandable. But I would see where that would be frustrating also.
it's not even just the time period, it's the Odd Fellows, it to be slight but blunt, they kind of put down women, you know. You, basically you have no place but in the kitchen.
Yeah.
In fact, if I'm
Ironically,
not
I
mistaken,
love being in the kitchen.
there is only one female Odd Members person, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember what her name is now, but I remember when they did like an honorary type thing for her. So, like I said, it was hard not to go down the rabbit hole,
Oh, for sure, for sure.
because it's the Odd Fellows. You can't not fall down that hole. But God
Yeah.
damn it, I crawled my way back out. Um, so for the actual investigation, like I said, things started happening right away. Um, they also were using equipment that would be able to give like yes, no responses as far as like flashlights and other equipment like that. Um, Kalani actually had a special device that lit up yes and no. Um, and they were able to manipulate manipulate that very quickly and easily and effectively to give accurate, responses. So it's very obvious, as soon as it started going off that, yeah, this thing is actually giving intelligent answers. However, it would not give any indication as to who it was. It was asked if it was a child. No. Were you an orphan? No. Did you work here? No. Were you an odd fellow? No. Yeah.
Okay.
So, if I'm not mistaken, they had even asked, were you brought here? Um, and I don't think it gave any response for that. So that was interesting. So with that, we're gonna lead into this creepy motherfucking tree. This thing is so twisted and gnarled. If I'm not mistaken, the way the men describe it in the video is that it's like the tree grew upside down and it's the roots sticking out.
Yeah. Anyone that
Yep.
knows me knows I have a thing with trees.
This tree's branches look like horns. Like they're twisted and shit. Apparently, people have been run off from this tree. People who have been performing rituals and leaving things within the tree. And so it's not really sure what these people are doing. However, it's obvious they're doing something. Um, and there is only a minor problem with like vagrants and breaking an entry, from what I understand. Um, and I hope that they're able to contain that, so to speak, because it's odd to find a abandoned haunted location that still has windows.
Right?
This one does.
All of them
And
are just
I think a great majority. And it still has power. Yes, like this is that diamond in the rough. It's enclosed and there's power. It's abandoned and haunted. Like I want to go play. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And so yeah, it's very much a interesting location. There is a stage slash auditorium location where they get the yes no responses, things like that. Like I said, anytime Chelsea asks a question, no response. Um, at one point, they are in the different wings for the boys and the girls. A few responses there, but more primarily knocking. If I'm not mistaken, they did not catch any EVPs. However, I'm pretty confident that when I was watching, I heard a response that didn't get caught. So I'm waiting to get confirmation on that. I did send in a thing, which I ordinarily don't do. Um, but yeah, there is male voices, lots of female voices. Apparently when I'm sorry, Kalani, that's the fourth time I've said his name and the fourth time I've had to look at my notes to remember what the hell it is. I apologize. I'm sorry. Um, he was at the location prior to Dakota and them coming. Um, and when he was there doing the investigation, if I'm not mistaken, he had his wife with him. Um, and it was so unsettling that she would not go back. Um, apparently there was a great number of female names that were given that were stuck at the location.
Wow.
Yeah. Apparently in the basement, there is what is referred to as the punishment room. Are your lips okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, sorry, I'll explain later. But there was I hate to say it, but a darker presence in the basement, as always, than what was in the rest of the house. However, they think that there's a good chance they were communicating with it and that that's the one that they don't know who it is, where it's from, or any of that. Um, but at the same time, it could very easily be just an Oddfellows member, you know, keeping the silence
Very well could be. Yeah.
because we don't know what they do. We know they got a couple creepy rituals. I mean, in some cases, people have said that people have to lay with skeletons. In other cases, people have said that they have to sit and, stare at the skeleton. Some people have said that they're chained to a chair as they stare at the skeleton. Um, But the whole point of that is to reflect on your own mortality and to not fear death. That's why, they have that ceremony, which I can understand, what better way to face your fear of death than to look death in the face, which would be a skeleton. And so, yeah, I'm not saying it's right, wrong, or the other, but I can see their logic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it seems like it might vary from location to location as far as how that's done. Um, so it sounds like this location has potentially some female based potential rituals, unfortunately. But like I said, that's potential. I don't know. I'm not saying yes, no, otherwise, but the suspicion is there.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Um, and not only that, but based off of other evidence that was caught during the investigation, um, creates suspicion upon the prior, elders of that community. So, unfortunately, though, it goes for the times. Um, it's right at the same time as the Dozer School for Boys. You know, at that time, they didn't see, the punishment as extreme or
Right.
torture. They saw it as, punishment, a form of punishment. It was just, okay, you did this, this is what's going to happen.
Right. Right.
Um, and it's exceptionally unfortunate. And I'm going to try to kind of keep an eye on it. And I roll my eyes because I know my memory. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, definitely very interesting, very haunted, and very, very creepy.
Yeah. For sure. Now, does the thrill seeker in me want to go there? Oh yes.
Yeah. At the same time, we probably wouldn't have anything happen
Oh, probably not.
unless it was of the variety we don't want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's always the possibility in situations as this. Um, to where, if they're so against females, there's that possibility that harm could come to females
Right.
who go
Right.
to the
Yeah.
location, and considering, the names that were received and things like that, I would say that that would very much fall in line with, you know, their MO.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
if they tormented and, have spirits stuck there that are female, why wouldn't they continue that torture to any female who came to the location?
Yeah.
If that's the case. I'm not saying it is. So yeah, if you're in that area and you happen to get permission, and you're female, please be exceptionally careful.
But you know what? I've noticed, like with your stories, there's orphanages, railroads.
All of them, really?
Not maybe not all of them, but I know you did one not too long ago where like the railroad and the hotel were kind of, I can't remember what it was. Let me look up our episodes and maybe I can.
Well, now I did a female cannibal for Thanksgiving.
You did. But yeah, you did one. I think maybe the Crescent Hotel.
I did do the Crescent Hotel.
Yeah, I think maybe that one had the railroad with it.
Maybe.
I think so.
Do I have my notes for that? Hold on.
I'm pretty sure that's the one it was.
Mm, oh, this is all my notes from the Missing Men. Where the heck do those end? Never. I did Jenny Wade.
Nope, that wasn't it.
Mm,
I'm pretty sure it was the Crescent Hotel because it was a whole hotel attached or not attached, but like the railroad is what brought people in and eh, yeah, workers, shit like that. But I'm pretty sure one of the locations you did, the railroad by it was a very prominent part of the story. Unless I'm
um,
having a fucking fever dream, let's be real, is not out of the question.
and you know what? Wouldn't it be funny if it was associated with Oddfellows? Or not Oddfellows. Sorry, my bad. The Dozer.
I'm pretty sure it was the Crescent Hotel.
I'm just gonna agree with you in that there was a railroad.
It's the Hotel and Spa, Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Is that ringing a bell?
Sure. Anyway, do
Yeah.
you have any recommendations this week?
Um. No, I don't think so.
I had one until I mentioned it.
You forgot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was the name of a show. It was really good. Not
Um.
super long. It's on Amazon Prime. It's
Yeah,
got witches.
I can't think of anything. Um. I mean, it's really good. So I'm gonna go back to last week's the magnesium spray. Oh my god,
Still working great.
it's it's a game changer. Like I'm sleeping so much better. Um, Now the job I have that I just got, I have to pick up these. They're part of the brake system, but they're quite heavy. And there's three different ones, and the heaviest one is higher, like the rack I have to pull them from. I'm quite short,
Hmm.
so I'm pulling them out, and I like to get them assembled in advance, so then when the guy turns the rack, all I have to do is put them on. Well, pulling them out is a pain in the ass. Like I'm gonna have like nice toned arms, and probably up in here too. Um, but anyway, they're heavy, and I do have to reach over my head with these heavy ass things. Um, so by the end of the night, like this area from my neck to my shoulders, very sore. Spray a little bit of that on, rub it in, and it doesn't take it completely away, but it takes the edge off, and there's no horrible smell. Like I love this stuff. I love this stuff.
Awesome. I
In
will
fact, I think
certainly have to
tonight I'm
consider.
tonight I think I'm spraying all the grandkids with it.
Probably not necessarily a bad idea.
No, because it does help with anxiety and sleeping, like I said. There's a couple of them that don't like to go to sleep. So I thought, so what I did is because I really, really like this, and anyone that knows me knows I like to make things and I'm kind of crafty like that. Like, don't ask me to sew anything because me and threading a needle, not happening. Um, but I will make shit. So I do have the ingredients to make it. I'm just waiting for the bottles. But I also think I'm gonna, while I'm out and about today, I'm gonna go get like some shea butter and things like that, and maybe make a lotion.
Ooh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
So I think I'm gonna do
Um,
that and make some, maybe give some gifts for people. Yeah.
that would be awesome. I like it.
And there's no smell to it. So you're not walking around smelling, like biofreeze or even okay, look, I love the deep relief and I love the pain cream that I get through Young Living, but there's a smell. And that
Mm-hmm.
smell will stick around for a while. And like Roy, he'll get up and he'll be in extreme pain, which he hasn't been in extreme pain waking up since using this stuff. So
That's
there's
awesome.
that. Um Pain, yes. Extreme pain, no. Um And I'll before I would say, do you want me to put some of the pain cream on you? No, 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 no. But I want to go to the store smelling like that. But now I'll be like, do you want me to put some of that on before you go? Yes, please. So, like, I know anyone listening or watching might be going, okay, whatever. Look, I thought the same thing when I was watching the videos of people saying, oh, it helped me do this and this and this. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. If all these different people are saying it, I think the ones I bought were $11 for a little 2-ounce bottle.
Okay.
Probably the best $11 I've spent this year.
Okay.
Just amazing stuff. Like I said, you can get it scented, and even the scented isn't a strong scent. Like I got the vanilla, and you can barely smell it.
Okay. So you said you wanted to get shea butter. So if you mix that with the shea butter, you could potentially add in a oil or something that would have a smell, and kind of tailor it to each of the person that you're gifting.
Right. Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah. So I mean I've got a lot of oils here. Um from when I first started. Now I'm not, and anyone that knows me has seen my Facebook. I do not push these oils on anybody.
Mm.
My sister had signed me up like 7 years ago. And honestly, what keeps me into it is the deep relief. If it wasn't for that, I'd be like, I'm done with this. Like, because it's a thing every month. But the deep relief, one, it made great Christmas gifts last year. Um, and the shit works. Like, it really works. But again,
It
there
does.
is a smell associated with it. Where this stuff does not have the smell and it works. I mean, I guess to each their own, but that is my yeah, that's my recommendation again because it's just that wonderful.
That's awesome. I'm glad it's that great. And not only that, but that you guys are getting relief.
Yes. Yes, yes.
Especially Roy, because man, he suffers. I know he
Yeah,
does.
he does. It's bad. There's just sometimes like I get frustrated because as a wife, I want to do things, but I don't want to ask him because I don't want him miserable because I want something. So like
Yeah.
there's a lot of times I'll be like, well, I do I really need to do this? And I don't feel like I've missed out on anything, but like there's things we've done where he's left before it was over. And that's where I get frustrated, I guess, because like we're there, we're doing our thing and he leaves. And it's like, oh, he's up. He's awake. So I guess on that note, um,
I'll let you go take care of the grandkids
yeah,
and
yes,
have,
they've been
have
very
fun with their craft
yeah, they're very good.
and
So they get their craft now. So
tell them I thank them and appreciate that.
yes, they've been great. So I definitely gotta let them know they've been great.
Yes.
So I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend and you have a great week ahead. And
Mm.
yeah, poor Jenny, are you all right? She's muted, but she's fine. Love the cough fits. They're great. All right. So
So,
everyone have a good week.
see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.